And the drivers set off in Senior X30. It's going to be a great race. 10 laps of the course once again to see who's going to get the best of it in these very tricky conditions out on the course. Looks like one of the karts is struggling to get away. It's the treble 2 that hasn't moved. It's one of the Birolats in trouble, so the treble 2 is not moving down on the course. That is the treble 2 of TJ George for the Stratos team. So Kai Berg and Toby Gale on the front row, Yukapo and Zadia Vracal in the second. The Australians, Jaden Pope and Cooper Fish, are next up. 7th on the grid is Austin Gale alongside Kimi Chan. And then 9th and 10th on the starting grid for Ayan Marwa and Wadapong Aimwa Chan of the Top 1 Motorsport team. 11th on the grid for Nawin Natipanon alongside Ethan Cito of 7 Racing. Fedas Fosi and Miguel Quinones, Clifford Kanjanapas and Zachary Boyce, ahead of Megat Zulkarnain and Paco Miguel Sarmiento. 19th on the grid for Karin Kaur and Ryan Gunavardena for Sri Lanka. Harith O, the leading master, Thomas George alongside him, Zhao Xian and Melvin Shane on the 12th row of the grid. Then it is Andy Barrett and Seth Waldron, Warasak Aimwa Chan, Ben Nagayan of Vietnam, then Scott Wood, Ahmad Zaidi bin Masri, and then at the back of the grid we have Laksh Manish Pafna, who will take his position in 31st. Now I didn't see whether the treble 2 of TJ George of India did actually get moving or not. So he might have to be starting this race from the pit lane. Well, I can't see his kart in the pits anymore, so I assume that he has now joined at the back. Whether he'll get his place at the red line, I don't know. The answer is he won't. And there are several karts at the back that have not taken their position, so he might get a second chance. We'll wait for a start, and we're not going to get one. So the repeater light comes on. It's a non-start, so the race has not got underway. The lights did not go out. And so the drivers will get another chance to start. They are slow to turn 3 because the yellow flags are around the track. So the race is not underway. Now this is good news for TJ George because it means he can get himself back to his original grid position in time, provided he can slot in before the red line. So he's got a bit of time to take his original grid position back. And fair play to Kai Burke and Toby Gale. They are actually holding the field up to give the rest of the field a chance to catch up again. So the pole sitter, Kai Burke, who came of age in the last Senior X30 race and showed what he can do in very tricky conditions indeed out there. Great to see just how tough the racing is going to get, and it will get very spicy if the first race is anything to go by. The difference being is that they've all got wet tyres and they've all got a wet circuit to play with as well. So the race is going to be an interesting battle for the drivers. Kai Burke and Toby Gale from Yukapo and Zadia Vracal. Then Jaden Pope and Cooper Fish from Austin Gale, Kimi Chan, Ayan Marwa and Wadapong Aimwa Chan in the top 10 positions of the grid. There are still some patches of rain around the course, not particularly heavy, and there's certainly some damp patches on the course. But who is going to get the best of it? Everybody's gone on to wets. Nobody's decided to gamble for slick tyres on this occasion. Everyone choosing to play it safe. So now, for the next 10 laps, it comes down to instinct. Kai Burke, Toby Gale, Yukapo, Zadia Vracal, Jaden Pope, and Cooper Fish. Who will get the best start? It's time to find out. Off we go to the first corner, and Kai Burke and Yukapo have gone forward. No worries at all for the Explorer. In second position, chasing down Kai Burke. So through they go to the hairpin. And it's a great start as everybody tries to keep themselves in harm's way. Is the Birolat going to make it round the hairpin? Oh, just about. That was one kart going very wide on the curbs and just about holding it through. Is everyone going to make it? So far, so good. All of the seniors and masters are facing in the right direction, with Yukapo giving chase to the Australian Kai Burke in the lead of the race out front. Third position for Toby Gale. Fourth position, that looks like the hard-charging Austin Gale, who has worked his way further forward as the drivers continue to battle their way through. A nice, clean opening lap, and the brothers are going to work together here by the look of it. As now down to the inside line, drivers trying to pick their way through on the opening lap in a very slippy, sliding run up the hill towards the bridge. And Yukapo is looking really racy behind Kai Burke. He's certainly not got as difficult a first lap as he had, and look how strong he is on the Explorer. This is the first real test for Yukapo and the Explorer chassis. On the second lap, they will go to battle with Kai Burke, and he's looking very fast. Round the outside, tucking in for the inside. As Yukapo tries to wrestle the lead away from Kai Burke. Trying to get through to the inside, and he's there! Yukapo takes the lead from Kai Burke on the second lap of the Explorer's second race in the Infinity IAME Series Asia. So now the boys and girls at Explorer can sit back and watch the orders for chassis around Asia flood in. Absolutely amazing from Yukapo. It looks like rain or shine, this car is ready for international competition. Kai Burke in second, Toby Gale in third. As up the inside goes his brother. And the brothers back away. Kimi Chan trying to get through on the inside. So Kimi Chan has got past one of the Gales. Now he's trying to get past the other. Down on the inside, a big slide there from Ethan Cito as he goes wheel to wheel with Zadiev Raikal. They bang wheels and Raikal holds on. Very tricky racing at the moment as they run in close proximity. But Yukapo leads this race in front of Kai Burke as the battle of the third intensifies. Kimi Chan is trying to close up now on Toby Gale. It's actually Austin Gale who's in third place ahead of Kimi Chan now, because Toby Gale has dropped to fifth position in front of Feres Vesrofosi. Then Nawinata Parnon, Cooper Fish, Clifford Kanjanappas and Zadiev Raikal, who's battling with Jaden Pope and Ethan Cito. This race very different to what we saw in the earlier heat, but the one man that stays towards the sharp end of both is Kai Burke. Little bit of a gesture there from Kimi Chan, who is gesturing to Austin Gale. Come on, let's race for position. And we've got a spinner down at the back of the field. Someone dropping away. I wonder if that is Cooper Fish having a moment. Certainly the 261 of Kimi Chan has now got ahead of Austin Gale as Gale gets back in front. Kimi Chan still trying to run around the outside of him, but it's not going to work. And so Kimi Chan finds himself in a grueling wrestling match with Toby Gale, with Austin Gale, as they go over the bridge once again. And Kimi Chan trying to work his way through. Well, Kimi Chan slides down the hill, and I think he's got into third position. He has. So Kimi Chan into third ahead of Austin Gale. Yukapo leads. Kai Burke second. Kimi Chan third ahead of the Gale brothers. And in sixth position, it is Feres Vesrofosi. So some great racing out of the final turn. Several drivers going for a move or two as a tank snapper comes in from Ethan Cito as he dives in on Quinones. Meanwhile, the 203 of Feres Vesrofosi has got ahead of Toby Gale. So that puts the Malaysian up into fifth position ahead of the young man from Thailand. So Toby Gale has to let Feres Vesrofosi ahead of him into fifth place. Not a lot he can do to resist. But the circuit is now drying out with wet tyres. So these tyres are going to get very tricky to handle as the temperatures of the tyres go up. There's not a lot of surface water left on the circuit. So these guys could really do with a little bit more rain in the closing stages. It's a very long lap out there at the moment. And that is largely because the karts are on wet tyres on a drying track rather than a dry track. So a very tricky scenario for all of the contenders at the moment. Kimi Chan still trying to catch up to the leaders as side by side of the turn. We've got two of the Paralympic teammates for DRM going wheel to wheel. That is Zadiev Raikal and Clifford Kanjanappas. This is the first time the two of them have raced against each other in the same class in IAME Asia, because Clifford Kanjanappas was senior last year and Zadiev Raikal was the junior champion last season. Kanjanappas missed round one, so he's now a little further back in the pack. And they're both catching up to a rather faltering Cooper Fish in the Birolard Asia kart, who is not finding the same sort of pace as the karts behind. So Zadiev Raikal is going to sweep past Cooper Fish. Meanwhile, the guys in front are having a tough time of it. Oh, Cooper Fish! That was almost a boxing match as they came through. And Zadiev Raikal able to get in front. That'll do for the moment. Not a lot that the 295 Nawinata Parnon can do, except try and chase after Toby Gale, with Cooper Fish losing ground to Zadiev Raikal and Clifford Kanjanappas on the same lap. Meanwhile, for Yukapo on the Explorer, it's a wonderful day at the races as he completes lap number 5. 5 laps to go for him up front. Second is Kai Berg, 2 seconds back. 5 seconds down from the lead is Kimi Chan in third. Then Gale, Vesrofosi, Toby Gale and Nawin Natapanon. But there's still great racing everywhere you look, as the drivers are having to work out where the tyres are going to be best now, because the wet surface of the track is drying out all the time, and you need a lot more rain to go through the treads of these tyres to get the ultimate grip. So it's really not going to be easy in the latter stages of this race to find the best grip in these tyres, because they need a bit more water on the circuit ideally now. Incredible that the circuit that was monsoon an hour ago is now not wet enough for these wet tyres. But the gamble would have been too big for drivers to go onto slick tyres at the start. So they're in that nightmare section of the course where the tyres are not really doing a lot of work for the drivers. The track is not dry enough for slicks, and it's not wet enough for wets. It's a nightmare scenario for the drivers. They've just got to try and figure out where they can get the most of the kart. So we're going to get some fairly slow lap times at the end of the race here. But still, Yukapo in the Explorer chassis, going very well indeed. Kai Berg, second position. Not a lot that Yukapo needs to do differently here, but in only the second race of the Explorer chassis career in Asia, in the IAME series, this is exactly what the doctor ordered and what Yukapo signed up for this weekend, with that kart doing a great job in the lead. The purple and gold machine leads the way. Great dueling in the middle of the pack as well. This is the 242 of Clifford Kanjanapis, trying to get ahead of the Birolot in front of him. That's the 223 of Toby Gale, that's really struggling for grip. Looks like they went the wrong way on tyre pressures. So side by side off the turn, and Kanjanapis trying to get the switcheroo to get up the inside line. Nothing to choose between them, and Kanjanapis got the move on Gale for 8th position, as Nawin Natapanon is proving a real headache for Zadiev Raikal. No, in fact, Raikal has got ahead. So Raikal is now in front as Yukapo goes into lap number 8. 3 laps to go, still a couple of spots of rain on the camera lens. It's certainly not heavy enough to cause a problem, other than the fact that they're all on wet tyres and they need more rain to really give the karts the best level of grip. So Yukapo is just controlling the pace, tiptoeing his way around. Kai Berg ahead of Kimi Chan. And then in 4th place, it is Austin Gale, but the battle here is for 5th place between Fedos Vesrofosi and Zadiev Raikal. Further back, we've got another little battle going on. This is Cooper Fish versus Toby Gale. So it's still a good battle further up the road. The 203 of Mohamed Feroz Vesrofosi having a great race with Zadiev Raikal, who dives in up the inside and gets the overtake. So Zadiev Raikal passes his teammate. Still a good race there in the midsection of the course. But the wet conditions are really playing into the hands of the leader. Yukapo doesn't have to worry about breaking a sweat. He goes into the hairpin for the 8th time, and with 2 laps to go for the man from Hong Kong up front, Yukapo is looking so neat and tidy, looking good for pole position for the Superheat tomorrow morning. So a great battle here at LYL, but in Senior X30, it was a foregone conclusion once Yukapo got himself into the lead ahead of Kai Berg. Kimi Chan has done a great job to work his way forward into 3rd position, and he's got almost 4 seconds now on Austin Gale, who just cannot meet the same kind of pace. He's having to really work the kart and slide it around to even get close to Kimi Chan. The battle for 5th is still pretty heated. You're looking at it on your screen at the moment. Zadiev Raikal, Fedos Vesrofosi, and Nawin Natapanon. Clifford Kandanapis is not that far away in 8th position either. So there could still be a couple of battles before the end of the race. Zadiev Raikal was in 5th position. Fedos Vesrofosi has got back in front, I do believe. So there is Yukapo dropping down the bridge in through the left-hander, and he will come across the line to put in another starting lap. But the Explorer chassis really has been smooth as a button over the course of this race. Excellent display and a good run from the Explorer. So Yukapo goes up to turn 3 for the last time. There is the chasing pack behind, trying to make up a move or two in the closing stages. But the race battles are still pretty frenetic out there on the course. But the victory is very easily won now by the PR1 of Yukapo on the Explorer. There he is, up through turn 7. And this chassis, which is making its first appearance in the Infinity IAME Series Asia. Over 20 years of engineering in the making for this chassis, but it's still a momentous moment for Asian engineering. All the chassis prior to this in Infinity IAME Series Asia have been European in their origin. None of the Asian chassis have made their way to the Asian series. And for Explorer, PR1 and Yukapo, they are about to demonstrate that all that hard work and knowledge is going to be put to good use. Here comes Yukapo. Ever since he took the lead on lap 3, this race has been his to lose, and he's not going to lose it now. Yukapo takes the victory in the PR1 Explorer chassis. It's history for the Explorer team. Excellent work. Kai Berg is second, Kimi Chan is third, and it's a great moment for PR1. The Explorer chassis comes of age, and in its second outing, it's a victory for PR1 and the Explorer chassis. Yukapo absolutely romps to the victory out in front. Great performance and a great race all the way through. So, some great racing to come tomorrow. There's a lot more where that came from. And we'll see some more great races over the course of tomorrow. But certainly, everybody's going to have to do some homework overnight if they want to compete with Yukapo and the Explorer chassis in the PR1 awning. Excellent work for PR1 and for Explorer. A good effort though from Kai Berg, a first and a second. They can be very happy with that. And that will be pole position on the grid for the semi-final heat tomorrow. A great work from everyone and a great performance. Good to see everyone putting on a great show. And a really good start to the day. A good start to the weekend from Senior and Master. Yukapo takes the victory for PR1 on the Explorer. It's a historic day in the Infinity IAME Series Asia for all the team from PR1 and the Explorer. Second for Kai Berg, third for the reigning champion Kimi Chan in the DRM Racing Paralympics. Fourth place for Austin Gale ahead of Zadev Raikal and Mohamed Fezrofozi. Seventh place for Clifford Kanjanapas in front of Nawin Natapanon. Then Cooper Fish and Jaden Pope, the Australians, rounding out the top 10. 11th position for Toby Gale in front of Ethan Sito and Miguel Quinones. Then in 14th is Ryan Gunavardhana from Lakshmanis Bafna. What a drive from him from the back of the grid to 15th. Zhao Xian ahead of Paco Miguel Sarmiento. Megat Zulkarnain in front of Harith O and Ayan Marwa. 21st position for Wadapong Amwichan from Karin Kaur. Warasak Amwichan, who was second of the Masters. TJ George and then Melvin Shane from Zachary Boyce, Andy Bure, Seth Waldron, Ben Nagayan and Scott Wood. And unfortunately just one man failed to start the race. That was Ahmad Zaidi bin Masri. So a very exciting race day here at LYL. It's had everything. It's had drama, it's had controversy, it's had great racecraft, it's had a monsoon, rain shower, thunder, lightning, both on and off the circuit. And what a great day of racing it's been. Tomorrow, we get to do it all again for the second round of the Infinity IAME Series Asia's Super Heats and Finals as we take one step closer to learning who's going to be our champions in 2025. From Jake Sanson and everybody at the circuit, stay dry and stay cool. We'll see you tomorrow for yet more from the X30s in the Infinity IAME Series Asia. Bye for now.